Hi, this is Steve Cranford again, editor-in-chief of Matter, with another mama. That's Matter Ask Me Anything. This time the question comes from Nima Rahbar from WPI. And his question is, how ductile is the spider silk? Now, Nima, we're buddies, and I know you're trying to mess me up a little bit with this one because there's a little bit of ambiguity. Spider silk is a broad class of materials. There are many types of spiders. It depends on the species. And there's also many types of spider silk. There's dragline spider silk and capture silk and piriform silk that's used for the anchorages. So to say how ductile is spider silk is kind of a loaded question. Also, ductility for spider silk is not really the classical definition of ductility. If you're talking about deformation after plastic yield, that's not really how spider silk works. That's more, ductility is usually, as you know, defined for metals and other kind of plastic alloys. But spider silk for sure is highly stretchable, it's highly extensible, and I think that's what you're going for. The interesting thing about spider silk, yeah, it's stretchy. Most of the versions of spider silk can stretch 2, 3, maybe 5 times its initial length before failure. But it's not just the stretchiness of it. We can make hydrogels and other polymer materials, types of rubber that are synthetically made that can stretch as much as spider silk or maybe more. One of the reasons we're interested in spider silk is not so much that it can stretch so much, but can also stretch so much and carry a high force. So it's the balance of the extensibility as well as the strength, which gives it an extremely high toughness. Not only does it get a high toughness, it achieves this toughness. It's only a protein-based material. It's made by the spider based on kind of the components that the spider basically eats. That's how it constructs this at kind of body temperature in a natural environment. So it's quite an impressive material. So the question really isn't how ductile or stretchy is spider silk, but why is it so stretchy? That's kind of the answer to what material scientists are trying to seek. Basically, and if you study spider silk, this is a completely simplistic version of how it works. But the concept is basically that spider silk is made out of 2 components. They're both made out of proteins, but one component is a crystalline component, which is basically beta nanosheets that form a beta nanosheet crystal, and that component contributes to the strength. The other component are longer strands of proteins and that basically form amorphous zones. So you can think of spider silk as a composite material composed of these beta sheet crystals along with amorphous zones. And now the beta sheets give it a strength, and the amorphous, when they get pulled, it's kind of like pulling spaghetti and they have to untangle and unfold, and that gives us some stretchiness. Also, when the beta sheets finally rupture, they unfold and give it even more stretchiness. So it's this combination and balance of the two that gives spider silk its ductility or extensibility or stretchiness. And nature has evolved spider silk to kind of be not too stretchy, not too strong, but basically just right for what the spider needs for its webs or its cocoons or whatever it uses silk for. So ultimately, the question of how ductile is spider silk is as ductile as it needs to be for the job that the spider wants it to be. So great question, and spider silk is a quite mysterious material, and it's one of my favorite materials, I guess, if you ever ask me. So until next time, keep researching.